Now, whom did Putin get in return? We mentioned 8 people. Um, there's a couple, and they have children, so that counts as few. I don't know how many children they have, but counts as few. And there's one guy that I want to talk about. So others are hackers and spies. What were not shown on television because Putin wants to utilize them. But those guys were so celebrated. May I introduce to you a family of Dulcevs? The Dulcevs, who had posed as Argentine citizens, were sentenced to prison in Slovenia for espionage. The children, unaware of their Russian nationality, only discovered it yesterday as the plane departed from Ankara, Turkey, that they were actually Russian. Now, funny thing, the children don't speak any Russian. So Putin had to greet them in Spanish. Imagine. So these spies pretended to be from Argentina with fake passports and everything. The KGB, FSB spies, lived in Slovenia, spying the heck out of it for decades, birthing children whom they didn't even think to teach their native tongue of their wonderful motherland. So motherland ain't the mother tongue. So this revelation has caused the kids significant moral distress, especially since they couldn't understand the thing. In a surprising twist, Putin greeted them in Spanish. Take a look. Here they are. You've heard. Buenos dias. Yeah, they're teaching Putin a thing. Back to your comments. Why do they keep acting like he stepped down when he said he's not running for the next term? Exactly. When will they ask Donald? Donald. Good. Any good questions? Well, never. Because first of all, Donald never lets you to ask. But wait, if he wins, then everybody, this will be a master class of asking questions that do not matter just to satisfy him. Because when I'm at the White House and the press corps are telling me how fantastic it was when Trump was, literally, I'm quoting, and this is people. It's neighbor's dog. Sorry, I'm not at home. I'm traveling. So, um, now, okay, I agree with whatever the barking is. Now, when I'm at the White House and press corps are sharing with me, for instance, those who report for China, India, and some dictatorships, right? They say this was so amazing when Trump was in office because we could literally open the Oval Office with our foot, and he would tell us jokes and talk to us for hours because he wasn't working. That was the executive time. He had to fill it with something. Reading is boring. And so they could have unlimited talks with him. Also, he allegedly, as they tell me, because I wasn't covering at that time, I was doing different stuff, that he would hold press conferences not at the briefing room, but in the Rose Garden, because there the light was better. And he said that he was on purpose made orange in the press briefing room. And so in the garden, he had better light. And so the swirl of journalists that are press corps and not press corps were asking him any questions, and he was just telling the stories. So they can't wait to have him back. They cannot wait to have him back. They act no different than paparazzi. Exactly. Yeah, but it's what I shared today on X or Twitter, that where is that limit? Where is the limit of dignity? Where's the limit of professionalism? Because what I'm seeing, breaking news is usually broken news, because you get partial news, and a lot of BS. And then if you don't know what's happening, then you like you're believing into something that never happened nor will happen, and you get anxious about it. And the more anxious you get, you click on more news and you get those apps and you start checking it. And that's part of the plan. Because when you're anxious, you start looking for information just to find misinformation. That is also true. Okay, we spoke about the Dulcevs. Now there's another guy I want to mention. Um, this guy's name is Vadim Krasikov. Now, when you look at Vadim Krasikov, you might understand what we're talking about. There's the guy, it's his mugshot. Vadim Krasikov, a Russian who was released from jail in Germany as a part of prisoner swap between Moscow and the West, was convicted in 2019 for the murder of a former Chechen militant in Berlin Park during daylight hours. The audacity of the killing, which occurred just a short distance from Parliament and the office of then Chancellor Angela Merkel, incited significant outrage in Germany. This has complicated efforts to negotiate for the release of political prisoners that the West seeks from Russian custody. The judge described the murder of Georgia national Zelim Khan Kangoshvili as state terrorism and suggested that the order likely came directly from Putin about the murder. Particularly aggravating was the fact that Kanashvili had long abandoned any violent struggle for Chechen independence. The judge emphasized this was not an act of self defense by Russia. This was and is nothing other than a state terrorism. 4 children lost their father, 2 siblings, their brother. Evidence supporting Russian state involvement included Krasikov's official Russian documents with a false identity and the fact that Russian law grants Putin the authority to order the assassination of political adversaries abroad. Okay, now mind you, remember that immunity thing? I'm going to read this again. Keep in mind the immunity thing. Russian law grants Putin the authority to order the assassinations of political adversaries abroad. The murder, executed with 3 shots from a Glock pistol on a sunny August day, was classified as having especially serious aggravating circumstances, the highest level of conviction under German law. Krasikov, born in Kazakhstan 1965 when it was part of Soviet Union, is depicted in police mugshots with deep, narrow-set eyes and mournful expression. He worked for Russia's FSB State Security Service, where, according to open-source investigators Bellingcat, he became a special assassin. Now, when he, and this is the murder he was convicted for. We don't know what else, right? So when that murder was reported in Germany, Russia said that they have no relation to murder in Germany, which a Russian is suspected. This was that Krasikov. This was 2019. Now, fast forward 2024, Putin hugs him and receives him with great honors. And I want you to watch this video, how that went down. It's 24 seconds. It's in Russian. Who cares? Watch it. This is Krasikov, the assassin, arriving in motherland. And then I'm going to share some news about him too. Watch this.
Внуково. На взлетной полосе красная дорожка, президентский полк и лично Владимир Путин. Так российские власти встречают 8 возвращенных граждан. Шпионы, хакер, контрабандист и киллер, осужденные за границей в объятиях первого лица.
That's Krasikov. With honor, with honors, with military parade and all of it. Hackers, killers, and murderers, and spies. Don't forget the spies. That's a Russian thing. Now,